show for us. My name is George. I'm going to help him out. And Dan said he's going to make us a base with a wrap around it. So we're going to get started here in a second. He's going to grab an iron or a blowpipe. We preheat the ends of them so the glass will stick to them. He's going to reach into our furnace and start rotating the iron. This is called gathering. It's going to gather a small amount on the end of the rod. And you can see it's this bright orange color because it's 2100 degrees. I'm going to use a wooden spoon called the block. This is going to shape, center, and cool the glass down all at the same time. Now in a second he'll put a puff of air to the end of the rod and cap it with his thumb, and you're going to see that he's still rotating the iron very evenly, and that bubble will shoot out to the center of it. Here it comes. And now he's blowing glass. So what do you guys think? All right, thanks for coming. Actually, he's just got a small amount of glass here. He's going to go back into the furnace and gather again. And he'll be able to get about 3 times as much on the next gather that he had on the first one. Now you can see he's got a lot more glass. So again, he'll use a larger block. He's going to cool the outside layer down while the inside bubble is heating back up. If you look at that bubble on the inside, it looks like it got larger, but it didn't. Clear glass is just magnifying it. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to shout them out. I was going to add a little bit of air at a time. You can really see how hot and soft the glass is. It's very easy to inflate at this point. It's easier than blowing up a balloon. Once it gets cold and stiff, it's impossible to inflate. It's going to take a quick reheat. This is our reheating furnace. It's called the glory hole. There's no glass inside of it. You're going to see Dan use gravity a lot by holding it down. Gravity will elongate it. You really see by holding it up, it's getting longer. It's going to start to use a pair of wooden jacks to make a restriction. Now these are a pair of steel tools. These are taking a sharp restriction off the end of the iron called the jack line. And this is an important step because we're going to use the jack line to break it off the blowpipe. We'll attach it to a solid rod called a putty iron so we can flip it around and work on the top of the piece. Any questions so far? What's that? It's still pretty hot, but the hotter the glass is, the faster you can work it. You'll see he'll get a lot done in a short amount of time. Most beginners, when they start, they work it very, very cold, so it takes a long time to make anything. If you can control the glass, you can work it really hot, you'll get a lot done in a short amount of time. Well, here in the Steuben factory, they have an apprenticeship program, and it takes about 6 years. Down there, it works out to be about 12,000 hours of on-the-job training. Now, he likes to use the wooden jacks at this point because the glass is thin and it cools down fast. He tries to use the steel tools, it cools it down even quicker. You can see the wooden tools, they do catch on fire. That's our favorite part of the show. And you can see inside of our glory hole, we have a camera on the back of it. It's got a special piece of glass called fused silica that protects the camera from the heat. And that was actually developed right here in Corning in the 1930s, and it's the same kind of glass they use on the space shuttle's windows. What's that? Sure. We're going to flatten the bottom, so I'm just going to push up while he's leaning those jacks over. See, it gives it a nice flat bottom. Alright, so you're going to stick it up now. We're going to gather a little bit of glass on this iron. So I'm going to roll this on the table. We're going to cool it down. I'm going to just support the weight of the iron. Dan's going to place this right in the center. Turns it to make sure it's in the middle. It's going to add a little bit of water with these tweezers from the jack line. And a little tap. You can see it breaks right off. Now he's going to start to heat the top up, and he's going to start to flare the lip. And as soon as he's ready, I'm going to start to wrap. Just a decoration right around the center of it. You ready? And again, I'm going to roll this on the table to cool it down. If I brought it over right out of the furnace, it'd be just a molten blob. It would just fall right off the end of the iron. I'm going to give this a quick heat. I'll hold this straight up and down, he'll place it. Just going to wrap it right around the top. Now this first heat will fuse that right into the surface. I think Dan's going to inflate the top a little more. He's got a tool out called the Sopietta. It's an aluminum puffer cone on the end of the bench, and he can use his own breath to inflate the top even more. And you'll see every once in a while he sticks the whole piece inside the glory hole. It's called flashing it. He's got to make sure that that putty stays hot. If it gets too cold, it'll pop up and hit the floor. That's a really small connection. It was attached to the bottom of it by about the surface area of a dime.
How do you get the different colors in the glass?
How do we get the different colors? Well, if we wanted to color the piece on the first gather, he can roll it in crushed up colored glass called frit. And we add different metal oxides to the clear glass to get the different colors. So if you want to melt cobalt blue, you'd add cobalt oxide. Green glass, you need iron oxide. If you want to melt a gold ruby glass, you add real gold to the ingredients. Now watch the top of this. See how it starts to bulge right up? He just increased the diameter of that quite a bit by using that Sofietto. Dan's been working glass for about 20 years. He started when he was 5 years old, so you guys can do the math. Now you're going to notice that each time that he heats it, the front of that's going to start to get larger just by heating and turning a centrifugal force will stretch the mouth of that open. And again, you can see he uses the steel tools to really open that up. Now he could stop there, that's a nice shape just like it is. He's going to continue to open it and flare it out. He said because you guys are here, he's going to go all out. See that he's turning the iron faster and faster. And you'll really see it start to open right up just like that. And he's got a beautiful base. Look at that's open nice and flat. Alright, so we're going to get ready to take it off the iron. I'm going to grab one of these forks. He's going to place a couple drops of water right on the punty where we attached it. And a slight little tap will break this right off. Just like that. There you go. So, anything that we want to save, we have to cool down slowly in an oven called the annealer. We have a small annealer behind us. It's at 910 degrees. We put the piece in there and stay overnight, and it'll slowly cool it down and take the stress out of it. Does anybody want to take this home? Yeah? Well, if you guys can come grab it, you can have it. Looks like it went out again. Wow. It's still, like I said, over 1,000 degrees. So, we don't save everything we make. About a third of the pieces that we do make get recycled. So we're going to toss this in a bucket of water. It's going to break up into small, tiny pieces called cullet. And then tonight at 5 o'clock, we'll shovel it back in the furnace. I hate to do this. It's a really beautiful piece. But there you go. Dan, you did a great job. That was a beautiful piece.